Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, J J Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Nice and sunny. I know y'all heard me going off yesterday. I had no other choice because they want to keep playing games with me. I didn't come back into this, forget about the music industry. I didn't come back into the politics of things to be mistreated by companies, okay? But the government needed to see what this company has been doing to me. And they already knew because I wrote them, okay? And it helps them make the decisions that they need to make about certain companies in our country, okay? So I say that to say sometimes I really have to act out in order to get my point across because some people just don't get it. Okay, we're there constantly breaking the law. This Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos, or whoever it is, they are tapping into my emails. They're listening to me through my Alexa. They have actually stopped my Alexa from working. Okay, so I can't even use the two of my Alexas don't work. Okay, and one of them does work. So they're listening to everything that goes on in my life, everything that I'm doing, instead of checking with the government because that's their competition. Amazon wants to take over our country. Okay? He wants things to be ran the way he wants things to be ran. And that's not going down. Okay? So things had to be said. All in one recording. They need to know what this man is down here doing to our people. They've been wanting him gone. That's why they wanted me to quit. But I needed to pay my bills because I have a child to take care of. So now the government got me in the middle with the nonsense. Okay? And I'm the one suffering throughout all of this. Now, I want to touch base on this chokehold that Power 98 is making fun of. Okay, the chokehold is taught, and I very rarely try to call people stupid because it's not a nice thing to do. Is that you haven't been educated on the way certain officials use the chokehold and why. Okay. One, I want to state that Marine went into shock because he was supposed to let that man go after he subdued him. Okay, meaning calm him down. Okay? He went into what they called war shock. Okay? The police, the military, and any official that lives in the hospital, that works in the hospital, has been taught to put people in the chokehold to calm them down, especially if they have a mental issue. This is why I am fighting for us to have more mental health care. Okay? Because I don't need the children that I'm out here teaching on a daily basis, not only in my village, but when I went out to Amazon, I was teaching those children as well. Okay? Everywhere I go. I've been doing this for 30 years. I right now, with my business license, it's 3 states that I've touched down with and teach young black people. Okay? This is a tactic, okay, that must be used on the mental ill. If they cannot calm them down, to calm them down. Okay? Now, technically, he was supposed to grab him from behind, take his arms, lift them, and bring that into the chokehold. But if he fought, and see, that's the key, do not fight. If he fought, that brings his arm down to around his neck, and then he could apply pressure on that chokehold. This is a tactic they use in the hospital. This is why if you have a mental illness and you go to the hospital, it's best to stay calm. This is why they medicate the people, so they can stay calm. It is a legal way to subdue a person. I'm sorry that y'all not educated on that, but it's not something that y'all should be making fun of. Because it is a tactic that can kill people on a daily basis. And I'm sorry that y'all wasn't taught this. I'm sorry that you don't have family members that's police officers, correction officers, military officials, or hospital officials. So you didn't know. So I forgive you on that. But now you know. Because I told you. It's nothing to play with. And I wasn't there. We wasn't there. We don't know how that man was physically acting. I didn't get to see a video. I don't know if you saw a video. But the point of the matter is, everybody knew. They knew that his mom was dead. Okay? All his family members. So we don't blame the actual action. Because it was a domino effect. Nobody took the initiative to help this man. That's the biggest problem here. If they knew he had a mental issue, why nobody checked that man in the hospital? In New York State, anyone can check a mental ill patient in the hospital. Anyone. Granted, y'all don't know that because y'all not from New York. Because there's a lot of mental ill. And they have a lot of hospitals for them too. They don't just walk the streets. They put them in buildings. They have apartments. They put them in buildings with the other people just like them. It's the way things are done. Differently from North Carolina versus New York City. We have over 5 or 6 mental ill hospitals, if I'm not mistaken. Drug and mental illness. So you're touching on a big subject when you want to make fun of this chokehold. That's why I tell people, watch what you say, watch what you do until you undone your research. The same thing happened in Baltimore, not once, but twice. It is a tactic that we use, but sometimes people go into shock while they're doing it, especially military officials, because they have mental issues as well, especially when they're being pushed by the things of real life. I'm not saying that that man was right. I'm not saying that that man was wrong, and I'm talking about the Marine right now. We weren't there, and we don't know what was going on in both of their minds. Now, the people that were there, they need to speak up. They do need to speak up. But for all we know, that man was acting erratic. The military official, what does he set forth to do when he signed that paper to go in the army? To kill. We don't know if that man went to shock. We don't know if that man was one of the people that was out in Iraq and Iran for all them years. If y'all remember, Obama had to bring them home. These are the same people that's on our streets that we're walking with every day. That was out there at war for over 10 years. Not 1, not 2, 10 years. If not more than that, if I'm not mistaken. So think before you speak. Do your research. And this is what's wrong with our country. We always talking and not doing our research. Did you Google chokehold? If they even have it up there. But this is what we're taught. When I worked at the mental institution, I was physically taught and had to sign off on it. When I worked in the mental institution in Bronx Lebanon Hospital, I had to put people in the chokehold. I hated it. That's why I left and never went back. It's nothing to play with. That's what they do until they medicate them to calm them down. Because an unstable mind is stronger than a regular person. And this is why I went down to the commissioner's office, to the council meeting to talk to them about the mental health. Because when the judge told me here in Charlotte that they just let them walk free, and I know for a fact that the mental ill are stronger because their minds are not right, that they get to walk free. I didn't find that to be amusing. Because at any moment, a mental ill person could grab anybody and harm them. And all they're going to do is not go to jail. They're going to go into a mental institution for 2 to 5 years. Do you want to be one of those people that's dead because a mental ill grabbed you and decided he wanted to hurt you, he or she wanted to hurt you? And we have them walking all over North Carolina, all over Charlotte. I see it every day. And you never know when their minds are going to snap. So do you want to be one of those people that they grab a hold of and start beating the crap out of, and then they're going to be put in a mental institution while your family has lost you? No, you don't want to be. It's a joke now until it happens to you. This is something that goes on a regular basis in New York City. They don't put it on the news. You know why? Because it happens too regular. However, this particular guy was a celebrity. That's why it was on the news. Did you read that? No. And his mom died. It happens on the regular basis. People are put in chokeholds. People die because of it. I don't want to bring up his name because I'm not really feeling this dude right now. But 50 Cent brought it to light. Y'all don't never put New York stuff on the news. What's going on in the communities. They know what's going on in the communities. They need to know what's going on in the rest of these communities. And why people are not surviving. And mental ill is walking all over the place. And people are not safe. Did you pay attention that your governor allowed people to just walk in the store and buy guns now? Did you pay attention to that? There's a reason. He wants his citizens to be able to protect themselves. Look at all the facts before you start to joke about something. Because people need to know the chokehold. Because if a person run up on them and start beating somebody, one mental ill person start grabbing on another person and hurt them, somebody got to come behind that guy and put him in the chokehold, or girl, put him in the chokehold to stop them from hurting that other person. Because technically on a mentally ill person, we're not supposed to use weapons. But our governor has gave us that right. Are you paying attention to what's going on in your city? 2 mentally ill people have gotten killed within the last year, right here in Charlotte. Right near where I live at, the Walmart that I go to shop on a daily basis. This is what I have to deal with in my community. Let alone teaching my black urban kids. And I don't want them to turn mentally ill so the same things can happen to them. It's not a game. These people are dying. And even though that they're mentally ill, don't give nobody a right to kill them. That's why our city needs to come together to help these people on mental illness. So they don't have to die. because some of them get better. But they need the proper help. I'm in the process right now, like me, with this company that won't do right by me so I can pay my bills. When I'm done paying my bills and getting myself at peace, I will proceed to write our county, because that's what I was instructed to do. Write our county and ask them, give them a proposal on what I, Jacqueline Richardson, can do to participate in helping these people before they turn mentally ill. It's bigger than what you see. Of course you don't know because you haven't been from state to state. Don't you think I'm tired? I'm tired of, I love my people, but I'm tired. I want to live my life. But I got to continue to help my people because I don't want to be the one sitting up in my bed. Damn, another dead nigga. Damn, another dead Hispanic. I don't want to be that one. They asked me to get a job done, so that's what I do. I talk to these kids when they need to be talked to. If they need food, I give them food. Whatever they need, I try to help them. So they won't be that one that was on that train in the chokehold dead. And they won't be a George Floyd. Because it happens every day. When I first touched down in this city, the police killed a guy. Keith, I believe his name was. And because he was mentally ill. Everybody want to run, get a lawyer so they can get money off the dead body, but you didn't help the body when the body was alive. Now, I'm not in the business of promoting death. I'm in the business of promoting life. We want to keep our people alive. We want people to die from natural causes. Not because they was in the street. You got people scared to go outside. I almost lost my mind. I let my daughter go in the uptown last weekend with her little friends. And I'm here. I was bugging. Where you at? What you doing? The people didn't come get you. I'm coming. Because I don't know who she's going to run into. Because these mentally ill people are walking all around our city. Make it make sense. And I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the county. Make it make sense. How do you let the mental ill walk around with the regular people? Knowing at any given moment they can snap if they didn't take their meds. And our kids, our wives, our husbands are walking around this city too. So I thought y'all should know that. It's bigger than what y'all think. And choose wisely when you start talking about certain topics. If you need information on certain things and what I think, don't hesitate to give me a call. If I know nothing about it, I will tell you that. I'm not going to falsify anything to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. And if I don't know nothing about it, I'm going to go try to find out. But before y'all start making jokes about certain things, do the research. Because that is a tactic that we've been taught and had to sign off on. That we will use to subdue a mental ill. And I'm one of them too. I had to sign off on it because I worked in a mental health hospital. These are tactics that we use. And we have to make our discretion. No, a person shouldn't be in the chokehold for 15 minutes. No. Technically, once that person was put in a chokehold, people were supposed to run for help. Get some help. Find a cop. Find somebody. Hold his legs down until we can get him to safety. But we don't know what happened to that man. We don't know if he went into war shock. We don't know if the guy was fighting. And that's why he applied pressure. The reason why we sign off on that is because this person can hurt someone. What's the first question they ask when you go to the mental health doctor? Are you feeling like you want to hurt yourself or hurt someone else? You know why they ask that question? Because if you feel like you want to hurt yourself, that means you have given us a red flag and we need to watch you. Heavy. That's why it was put in place. Some of us in our government, in our country, has been trained just like the military. Through not only being in the streets, but through the jobs that we get. That's why they tell us to choose wisely on what job you choose to get. Now, granted, y'all are radio professionals. Y'all don't really have much going on but talking on the radio and make people smile and laugh. So how much would y'all know about what really goes on out here? But what happens is this is why journalists and people go out and ask questions. So they know the facts and not make fun of it. Because it could be one of your family members being put in a chokehold if they have mental illness tomorrow. And then it's not going to be funny. Mental ill people are a little bit stronger. And they come back at you. Even if you let them go, they will come back at you with more force. Y'all know, I have a grandson that has a mental illness. He has ADHD and what's that other one? Obsessive ODD. If I put you in a room with him for 5 hours, best to believe you're going to want to put him in the chokehold. Best to believe it. Because if you say one thing wrong and it makes him angry, he's coming for you. So this is why we need to focus on the mental illness here in Charlotte. Because we got our babies walking around here. And we don't want people with mental illnesses to snap. Because they didn't get their meds or they don't have any coping skills. I had a young fella tell me a couple of days ago. I couldn't find a way to cope. And I understood perfectly. Whether y'all know it or not, my job is to come into these communities and help teach these people how to cope, how to get through with any information that I know. All the journeys that God has took me down, which has been a lot of pain. And this is one of them, being here in Charlotte with the nonsense of journeys. I've been in Buffalo, New York. I've been in New York City. I'm born and raised in New York City. But then I moved to Buffalo, New York. I had to deal with it. I had to calm a whole city. Okay? Because people were dying left and right. Then I went to Maryland. I worked in the city of Baltimore for 6 years. Talking with the people as I put chips on the shelf. Helping the kids as I ride past and see fit needed. Now I'm here in Charlotte. When I first got here, all these people was in an uproar. All I can do is just stand back and watch them. Come to my lab, analyze it, and see why. Understand why. And once I got the understanding of why, then I knew how to help them. And what to show them. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Sometimes my babies will call me up just so they can talk. It's not that they want anything. Because I've worked hard to train them that working is the best way to go. But sometimes they just want to talk. And not all their business be all over the place. Because some of the things that y'all here in Charlotte run y'all mouths about is common life. But y'all want to sit in the cut and laugh and talk about a person. And you don't even know what that person has been through or what channels of life they've been down. Just like I was talking to one of my youngest yesterday. And he was saying how we was talking, I forgot what we was talking about. And we started talking about white and black and how we deal with our situations different than them. And the reason why is because we're always in survival mode. The urban community is always in survival mode because that's what we've been taught since childhood. We stay in survival mode. That's not our fault that's what our ancestors taught us. But they felt that they needed to be in survival mode because of the things that was happening to them. This is why the urban communities can overcome things a little bit better. Because we are in survival mode. And it's hard to say, and I hate to say it, but some of the stuff we're used to. The nonsense. And being that we're a little bit smarter, we always find a way around it. If we don't find a way, somebody we know knows a way. Okay? So that's the difference between the urban community, and I'm not going to even say the urban community. I'm just going to say where the black people live versus where some of the white people live, because now some of the black people are living where the white people live as well. Okay? But they have coping skills because they was brought up in survival mode. So they're able to deal a little bit better. My job is to make sure that these kids are able to get out their stress, be able to think clearly so they can move on to the next step. I went to the doctor the other day, Sunday. I have a bad sinus infection. In fact, I got to go pick up my medicine. And the lady said to me, the pharmacy that you have on file over here with us is about to close because the lease is up. And I said, what? She said, so what pharmacy do you want? And this is simple. Okay, I mind you. She said, what pharmacy do you want? I said, I don't know. I've been with this pharmacy for 7 years. And I don't even know where my health card is to give another pharmacy so they can service me. And I sat on the doctor's bed there at the clinic. And I said, oh, here we go. Another task. And the nurse turned around and laughed. And that's one of the reasons why people love me, because I just keep it real and I make it funny at the same time. I don't mean to make it funny, but I keep it real. And she laughed and she was like, yeah, this is how our life is. Life is not perfect. We just live it. But we don't want to go into a mental state to where people got to kill us because we can't control. The same with a dog. If a dog cannot be controlled, no one wants to be around it. The same with human beings. If you notice, you see the mental ill always by themselves, standing by themselves. That's what's done. That's how they do it. Because nobody wants to be bothered with them. I don't want my urban community like that, where everybody's in a state of depression all the time. And at any moment they can snap. Because I don't want to be the one to have to kill them or hurt them, because I have the tactics I've been taught. So I try to keep their minds clear. And they know, each and every one of them know. I had one of my kids say, I said, you got my number? No, I don't need your number. I'll knock on your door. I said, you're right. But I still gave him my number anyway. Just in case he far away and need to call. Let me call Miss Jackie. Maybe she can help me out. You see how we do this down here in our community? They already know. If they need me, they need to talk. They ain't got nothing to eat in it. It's just at the bitter end where their stomach is and they can't sleep hungry. They know. They could come, Miss Jackie, I'm having a problem. I'm hungry. Come on in. Let's eat. Because I'm not going to have you walking around hungry. I ain't got much in here today, but let's put something together. You know how hunger could affect the mind? Did you know that? It affects your way of thinking because you have no vitamins in your body to give it, to give to your brain. Once you get past the hunger stage, you no longer feel hunger pains. That's less than 5 hours. Then you no longer want to eat. Now your body is feeding off of your body. Once it starts to feed off of your body and it's gone, all the nutrients, what happens? The brain starts to react. Not good, bad. Now you start having all different type of functions going on. Negative functions going on in your body. That's why we keep our electrolytes and we must eat. Granted, a lot of people overeat. And that's one of the problems that we need to work on as well in the urban community, and know what foods we're supposed to eat to keep the vitamins in our body and what's needed in our bodies. We just go out here and eat anything. It don't matter. We hungry. I mean, if that's all you have and you're hungry, we get it. But in reality, you should be watching what you eat at all times. I tell people, it's a lifestyle. You make it your every day. So even when you don't have nothing to eat, you have the stuff that you're supposed to eat in your home. That's the way it's done. But I'm sorry that it's taking y'all down south over 20 years to get it, because we've been taught that 20 years ago. And we're here to give y'all the information. When I first came here, I was slim. I used to walk around, and they could tell you, I used to walk around with my bottle of water with lemon and peppermint and cucumbers. And people was asking me, what is that? This is my daily drink to keep my vitamins in my body. Oh, yeah, we seen somebody on TV with that. Yeah, because this is what we've been doing for the last 10, 20 years. to detox ourselves. Oh, you so skinny, you need to eat. Sweetie, I'm trying to stop eating. The less food you eat, the better you are. You need to put in what's good for you. Not eat just because you want to eat. But then they ask me, how is it you don't take a whole bunch of pills? Because I've been following what they've been teaching me. I work out. I eat right. I got one pill I take every day. And it's called cetirizine. That's generic Zyrtec. Because I can't bear the allergy and the pollen here in Charlotte. And that was also a hard road for me. I couldn't even begin working the proper way because first I had to deal with my allergy issues in order for me to stay here. Which I wanted to leave. I said, they put me in the wrong place. I'm ready to go. I told my daughter's father I was ready to go. And he said, no, let's just stay here. And then he turned around and left. Because he couldn't take it no more. How dare you? After I asked you to leave this place 3-4 times. Because I got tired of being sick. Now I've been here 7 years. So I've watched these children grow for 7 years. This new generation. And they won't be like the last generation. Because they have Miss JJ, Jackie, in the communities to help them cope. I go through things too. Right along with them. And we figure out a way to cope without allowing it to affect our mental. But I see where if I was to leave, it might get real ugly. This is why I need to put in place more mental illness help in our communities. So I'm going to end this podcast. I just wanted to bring some things to your attention. And I get, I used to be that one that would call people stupid. You're so stupid. What is wrong with you? But I've learned to not do that because I've learned that people just don't have the knowledge. They just never was taught. They've never been down that journey to understand the process. It's not that you're dumb and you're stupid. So I had to change my way of thinking. Instead of calling people stupid, explain it to them. Give them the knowledge, and so now they know. This is Jacqueline Richard Simmons, JJ Diamond, Jackie, Deja, whatever y'all call me. I'll talk to y'all soon, and I love all y'all guys. Do y'all research, guys. That's all I say.